Remember the smell of the lunchroom? That mix of sour milk cartons, tater tots, and something mystery-shaped on a beige tray? Back then, school lunches weren't just meals. They were little adventures. Sometimes tasty, sometimes terrifying, always unforgettable. No apps, no organic labels, just whatever the lunch lady served, with a side of chocolate milk and a wink. Today, we're flipping open the lunchbox of history to look at 10 strange but true school lunch items from the 60s to the 80s. Some were oddly good, some were just odd, but all of them 100% real. 1. The mystery meat rectangle. It wasn't quite a burger, not quite meatloaf, but it showed up on lunch trays like clockwork. Usually grayish-brown, perfectly rectangular, and suspiciously uniform, it sat there smothered in gravy, trying its best to look appetizing. No one really knew what was in it. Beef? Soy? A science experiment? But if you covered it in enough ketchup, you could almost pretend it tasted okay. It disappeared sometime in the 90s, when school menus got more health-conscious and less rectangular. 2. Peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwiches. Yes, this was a real thing. And for a while, it wasn't even weird. Born from Depression-era rationing, the sweet and savory combo stuck around for decades, especially in southern states. Schools served it cold, soft, and somehow creamy. Kids either loved it or traded it away fast. Today, it's mostly vanished, living on only in internet recipe corners and distant childhood memories. 3. Jell-O with shredded carrots. Who decided carrots belonged in dessert? No one knows for sure, but this gelatinous creation, often green or orange, was a regular on the lunch tray. The texture was confusing, wiggly and crunchy at the same time. Lunch ladies swore it was healthy. Kids just poked at it with a spork and hoped it wouldn't jiggle back. By the late 80s, it faded out, replaced by putting cups in fruit cocktail. 4. Fish stick Fridays. It didn't matter what coast you were from. Friday meant fish sticks. Crispy on the outside, questionably soft on the inside, these golden bricks were a Catholic-friendly workaround for meatless Fridays. They were usually paired with canned peas and a single slice of white bread. If the tartar sauce ran out, good luck. They still exist today, but back then, they were a school lunch staple. 5. Sloppy Joe sliders. Sometimes the cafeteria skipped the bun and just ladled meat directly onto your tray. It was ground beef, tomato paste, maybe onions, and it spread like lava. You had to chase it around with a spoon or let your mashed potatoes soak it up. It was called economical, but it mostly looked like lunch had melted. Eventually, school menus got neater. Sloppy Joe stayed, but the bun came back. 6. Canned spaghetti on a tray. Imagine opening a can of Chef Boyardee and pouring it right onto a lunch tray. Yep, schools actually did that. Pasta that was too soft, sauce that was too orange. But to many kids, it was still the best thing on the menu. Sometimes they'd toss in meatballs the size of marbles. Sometimes not. It was cheap, easy, and oddly comforting, until fresher pasta options replaced it in the 90s. 7. Tang as a beverage. Before juice boxes took over, Tang was the king of school drinks. The orange powder, made famous by astronauts, was mixed with water and poured into plastic cups. It wasn't exactly juice, more like orange chalk with sugar. But to kids in the 60s and 70s, drinking Tang felt futuristic. Eventually, parents pushed for milk or real juice, and Tang floated back into space. 8. Spam cubes and macaroni. Spam wasn't just for breakfast. Some schools served it diced, fried, and stirred into elbow macaroni. It was salty, squishy, and surprisingly filling. Leftover wartime rations made Spam cheap and shelf-stable, perfect for school cafeterias. But by the 1980s, kids were asking, what is this meat? And soon, the Spam quietly disappeared into lunchroom history. 9. Liver and onions. Yes, they served this. In schools. To children. The smell alone could empty a lunchroom. But in the 60s, liver was considered nutritious. Full of iron, doctor said. Most kids took one bite, chewed for what felt like a lifetime, and never forgot it. Eventually, even schools realized no one likes liver, and it was retired for good. 10. The cube of chocolate cake with white icing. Not everything was strange bad. Some things were strange great. This dense, square slice of chocolate cake showed up on birthdays, Fridays, or just randomly, and it was pure cafeteria gold. It had a thick layer of white frosting, and sometimes a wax paper bottom you had to peel off. You could trade almost anything for a cake cube, even your best snack from home. While healthier dessert rules later pushed it out, its memory still lives on in every sweet tooth. School lunches weren't perfect. They were messy, mysterious, and sometimes weird beyond belief. But somehow, we remember them. The taste, the tray, the trading table, like snapshots from a different time. What strange lunch item do you remember? Drop it in the comments. And if you're hungry for more memory lane moments, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who still remembers Tang. We'll be here with more warm, weird slices of the past. This was Old Light TV. Thanks for watching.